This might be the best fishing weather we've had all year, and it won't last long. We've got record-setting calms setting up across the country, big bass on the move, and one sneaky storm setting up on Sunday. Let's break it down. Welcome back to the Bass Prediction Center, where we're tracking the weather, seasonal patterns, and tournament trends to help you make better fishing decisions every single week. Guys, we are on the road to 500 subscribers, and as you can see, we're almost halfway there. Hit that subscribe button if this in any way helps your fishing game. It's weather, you know it helps. Let's talk movement, guys. This is our map for the week, and as you can see, things have opened up all the way to the north. The ice is barely hanging on in northern parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, and then very far in the northeast. Super excited for everybody. We're almost the whole country's fishing. Our winter pattern has expanded with that ice line movement, so you're getting a big chunk of winter pattern, but this pre-spawn is going to be pushing north really quickly. You know, in the northern states that changes happen very quickly in the spring. Spawn is still sitting about right along this Texas-Oklahoma border, right along the Red River, all the way to the west into California, and then parts of South Carolina are starting to experience some bass on beds, so that's super exciting. Florida, South Texas, you're already pushing into post-spawn. Great time of the year to fish. Get those floating worms and flukes out and hammer some fry garters. We do have one tournament to speak of this week. There's a Toyota Series event going on down at the Harris Chain in Florida. We'll talk about it in just a bit. Guys, let's move on. Jumping right into the weather, guys. As you can see, pretty clear right now. There are some storms firing down in South Florida, which there is some possibility of some severe weather down there, but not a huge threat. Probably just some winds, maybe a little bit of hail. As we move in to Wednesday tomorrow, the weather couldn't be better. There's not hardly rain in the entire country, which is so rare in the spring. Not good for our drought areas, but good for fishing right now. So the only thing we have to speak about is going Wednesday night into Thursday. We're going to have some disturbances happening along the Gulf here, and you're going to see some severe weather in South Texas, and this is going to just move into Louisiana, kind of hang out along the Gulf. So if you're in these areas on Thursday or Friday, you're just going to want to watch out. In the Northwest, there is an atmospheric river event going on, which is causing some rain in the Northwest, which is pretty common this time of year. The rest of the country looking great. Some spotty snow up in Maine. You guys are hanging on to winter up there. Possibly some little scattered storms in the Midwest, but nothing that's going to affect your fishing plans. Thursday, like I said, these storms kind of hang out in South Texas, Louisiana. I don't know if you're going to see much in this area because it's actually pretty dry and there's probably going to be some capping. But along the Gulf, you have enough disturbance and enough moisture to make some rain for sure. So just watch out if you're in those areas with your weather radio, and just stay tuned to the weather so you're safe out there. It shows some scattered storms up here along the Missouri River, eastern Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee. These will be light rain, nothing to worry about. And it's towards the evening time on Friday. And then going into Saturday, those storms in the Gulf linger, and then you can start to see this low pressure system that is setting up over the eastern Rockies, and this is going to be our storm maker on Sunday. That's going to ruin our perfect week of fishing. Let's go ahead and move through Saturday here. As this starts to develop, you're going to see some rain and snow in these areas here, but nothing too heavy until we get into Sunday and you get the heating of the day. So here we go into Sunday, and it's mostly going to be overnight on Sunday. So this low pressure system pushes into the eastern parts of Missouri here, and that's where it starts to get the energy from the Gulf and forms a band of storms that trails all the way down into Texas. And these are going to probably be severe. We are 5 to 6 days out right now, so this could change, but you're probably going to see some severe storms that form a line, and this is going to happen mostly Sunday evening, pretty late. So shouldn't affect fishing too much unless you're planning fishing early Monday morning, which who fishes on a Monday, right? Everybody has to work. So this is actually going to push pretty quickly east, be out of here by Tuesday, and then we'll be looking at next week's weather. But like I said, just some severe storms, probably some hail and wind, maybe some tornadoes. We'll know more on Friday when we do our weekend update, and some snow back here in southeastern Nebraska, southwestern Iowa, but nothing crazy, not a big blizzard or anything. So let's take a look at our winds. All right, our overall wind profile for the country looks fantastic. There's no big winds to speak of right now at all. As we move through the week, Wednesday, you're going to see some little areas of some higher winds, but nothing bad like we've been seeing. Whoops. We'll keep moving on. Thursday, things start to pick up a little bit here in the plains, the southern plains region of Oklahoma. But once again, not terrible. Definitely can be out there fishing. If you guys are bed fishing in these areas, it's time to get out there right now. You're going to be able to see these fish. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be light winds. It's perfect conditions for bed fishing. And then there's just some little patches of gusts that move through on Friday and Saturday with these disturbances. But nothing terrible, like I said. And then until we get into Sunday around this front, everything looks fantastic. You're going to start seeing some winds pick up in the southwest. And then as it moves east, obviously, around, surrounding it, it's going to be windy. Let's look at wind gusts now. All right, guys, our wind gust map looks decent as well for the week. As of right now, you have a little trough of gusts right through here as the jet stream pushes down. Not affecting a ton of people in the country right now. So we'll just push this forward. Wednesday afternoon, looking great. A little gusty over here, Pennsylvania, Virginia area, Washington, D.C. Off the coast of the Northwest, very gusty. If you're out there saltwater fishing, not good. And then we're going to have some gusts pick up through the middle of the country on Thursday with that disturbance that comes up from the Gulf. 20 to 30 mile an hour in this area this time of year, not that wild. Just watch out if you're out on the big water. And then on Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, a lot of gusty winds here in the Midwest and a little bit in the Southwest, but majority of the country looking pretty good. And then let's keep moving on. Whoops, we went too far forward. All right, so Friday afternoon, that's Friday. Saturday afternoon, those gusty winds push to the northeast. Kind of bad over here in New York, Pennsylvania area, so just watch out if you're in those areas. The rest of the country, not too terrible. Definitely can be on the water fishing all day on Saturday. Saturday is the day to get out there for sure. And then Sunday, obviously with that storm system, we're going to have some gusty winds push through, especially into the evening hours. Let's take a look at our temperatures for the week. This is where things get nice. All right, our temperature anomaly map. Everything southwest of the Great Lakes is looking great. We're way above average, up to 10 degrees Celsius above average. And then this just sticks around. This little cold blast is going to move through the northeast on Wednesday, but all this warm air just sticks into the western half of the country. Extremely warm in the northern Great Plains on Friday, which is great if you're wanting to fish up there. And then this is going to melt. We might not even have an ice line next week with the way this is looking. So get super excited if you're anywhere in the northern part of the country. The whole country is looking fantastic on Friday. California are actually going to be a little colder than average, which you're probably welcoming because it's been warm there. So that could help slow down things fishing-wise. And then on Saturday, things are looking great. You're going to have a little bit of cold trough push down from the north here in Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. But the rest of the country, you're looking great. California is still colder than normal, but let's face it, it's still pretty nice to be fishing even with those temperatures. And then with that front moving through Saturday night, Sunday evening, that's going to bring some cold air and ruin this beautiful fishing weather we've had. But if you're in the southeast and northeast part of the country, Sunday is not going to be too bad as long as you're out in front of those storms and just watch your weather. All right, looking at temperatures, these are your Wednesday high temps. Everything looks fantastic. Nebraska, we're setting almost 70 degrees on Wednesday. Texas, you're actually really warm, almost 90 degrees in some areas. The Southwest, looking very warm. You're looking at 60s and 70s throughout probably more than 2/3 of the country here. So super nice weather for fishing. And then even up in here, you're still in the upper 40s and 50s. Really nice weather to be fishing if you ask me. And then let's look at Thursday. The high temperatures, kind of the same situation. A little bit cooler here in a little patch of Texas as that moisture moves up from the Gulf. California is looking good. Everybody in the whole country is looking fantastic on Thursday. Friday, more of the same here. That cold weather is just sitting right along the Canadian border here. And then warm weather all throughout the majority of the country. Cooling off a little bit in the northwest, but still very manageable. Saturday highs, you're looking at super high temperatures, almost 100 degrees in parts of Texas. Moving all the way up into Kansas with almost 90 degrees in eastern Kansas, which is insane. But this is going to push that pre-spawn. Next week we should be pre-spawn in Kansas for sure, because we're going to be spawning here in a month. It goes quick in the northern states for sure. And then as you can see, this front or this low pressure system starting to build and it's starting to bring this cold weather down. You're still looking at 40s in Nebraska and then 40s and 50s throughout the whole western part of the country. Really nice. And it's going to be super warm out in front of this low as we move into Sunday. So there's our highs. You're going to have a big shot of cool air that comes down into the northern Great Plains, but our highs in the southeast are super warm ahead of this. And then as that front pushes through, you will have cold weather behind it, but should make for some really awesome topwater fishing ahead of this front in the whole southeast region, guys. All right, now for our tournament spotlight, we do have one major tournament going on this week. Obviously, there's lots of regional tournaments going on, but this one is the Toyota Series at the Harris Chain, and you're going to see some big names fishing in this because there's no other major tournaments going on this weekend, and then we have the Red Crest going on in a week after that. So definitely be a nice warm-up for some guys on the Harris Chain. Be something to watch at MLF.com. As far as fishing, so this jumps guys right into the invitationals possibly. Some guys just like to fish the Toyota Series. It's one of the best paying series on tour, and a lot of guys can afford to fish this. So if you're down in Florida, you might want to jump into this thing. It should be a really fun tournament. Going to be a total post-spawn event. You're going to see lots of speed worms going and lots of gambler products, I'm sure, down in Florida right now. So jump over to MLF.com to watch this tournament. Should be a good one, guys. A lot of big bags. The biggest story in tournaments of all right now is that Easton Fothergill won the Bassmaster Classic by like 10 pounds. If you guys didn't watch it on live, it was unbelievable. This guy is an absolute phenom. Came out of the college ranks. He's won everything in the Opens. He won everything in college. He might be the next KVD guy. Absolutely dominated it. He struggled in Florida in the first two tournaments of the year, which made me wonder if he had what it took in the elites. And then he turns around and just wins the Classic, which is insane. This guy is going to be around for a long time. Check him out. He's from Minnesota. These Minnesota guys know how to fish. Super excited to see the rest of the year and see what he does. So get him on your fantasy fishing team. Go to Bassmaster.com if you want to know more and watch the live, guys. It was a super fun tournament. Guy caught 76 pounds, broke KVD's record. This guy is like the new big thing in fishing, so check it out. All right, guys, our lake of the week this week is going to be Lake McConaughy in Nebraska. This is one of my favorite lakes. I've been fishing here since I was a young kid. Used to do a lot of walleye fishing here. This is a walleye mecca. It's the biggest lake in Nebraska that's completely inside Nebraska. It is on the North Platte River, and it is a fisherman's paradise. It's completely surrounded by sand. It's right out in the sandhills, so most of this is a smallmouth fishery. There are some nice largemouth in here, but they're hard to find. But if you can find them, they're tournament-winning bags. So the majority of the smallmouth here are going to be caught in these rocky areas where these coves are in this western or this eastern part of the lake. Right now, the lake is super low, as it tends to get during a drought. Probably like 40%, or it's probably like 50% full pool right now. So if you're fishing here and you're fishing smallmouth, you're going to focus on the dam, all these point areas along here that have rocks. And then the rest of the lake is basically just bare sand. There are some other areas up here by Lemoyne that have some rocks that have some smallmouth in them. And then a lot of these northern pockets would normally hold some nice largemouth populations, but they are dry right now for the most part. There's a little bit of water here. So if you're going to find any largemouth, you're going to have to go to this western end, and there is a lot of brush underwater and a lot of grass on this west end, which can be really good, but it's hard to break down. Find a lot of these little river channels, and just you got to fish your heart out to catch those largemouth. So I generally tend to stay on this east end, throw a shaky or a drop shot or a tube, and catch the fire out of the smallmouth, and that gives you a chance to win out here on Lake McConaughy. So if you guys are ever in Nebraska, check it out. It's our best lake, our clearest lake. It's super fun. Go over and check it out. All right, guys, our baits of the week this week are going to be brought to you by Beyond Braid. We have a new discount code for you. It is BPC10. We have the Miami Vibe color, guys. This is not only beautiful, but it helps you detect a bite. I got this on all my spinning rods. It's a pink-blue combo. Beyond Braid is made down or is sold down in Florida. It's a great company. They're the smoothest braid, the strongest braid. Guys, check them out if you haven't already. Get that 10% discount, BPC10, at checkout. Let's go to the baits. All right, our Beyond Braid baits of the week. If you're in post-spawn areas, I'm going to be throwing this Berkley Choppo, looking for some fry garters. And those big females, especially in the morning if they're up feeding, are going to hammer this thing. If you guys haven't used a plopper-style bait, you're missing out. It's insane strikes. And I like black first thing in the morning, or if it's cloudy. If you're around a shad spawn during the post-spawn, white bait is going to be awesome. This is great around ducks, around rocks, anywhere the shad are spawning. In your spawning areas right now, I love top water during the spawn. I'm going to be throwing this Berkley spin bomb. Prop style bait over beds is sick. You can just let it sit there, make it ploop just a little bit. Those big females are going to come up and hammer it off the beds. Get this bluegill color. You know how bass ate bluegill during the spawn. Super great bait made by Berkley. In pre-spawn areas, I'm going to be throwing a Berkley Cull shad right now. If you're looking for a big bite, you're going to throw this thing around docks, any kind of cover, standing timber, anywhere that you think that the females might be staging up. And if they don't hit this thing, you're going to at least be able to see them and know where all the big fish are. And you can throw back at them with maybe a Yamamoto Cinco or something like that. Winter areas, this is a northern spot for largemouth. Right when the ice comes off, you're going to want to throw in a bluegill colored swim jig. I've actually got one here. This is from Slackline Jigs. Guys, this guy is tying up hand-tied jigs. Look at the head on that thing if you can see it. It's got a red eye. Super excited to throw this thing. I've got it paired with a 6 cents bongo, so you get tons of action out of it. I do need to trim the skirt up on this just a tad, but look at the beautiful colors. Bluegill colored swim jig in the shallow warming areas. The first areas that lose ice are going to be where all the largemouth are going to be sitting, especially if you have some sort of grass in the area. So get over to Slackline Jigs on Facebook and pick up a few of these jigs. You're not going to find better colors on the internet, guys. Super awesome baits. And that is our baits of the week, guys. Check them out. All right, guys, that is your BPC weekly forecast. Let's hear from you down in the comments. Drop your lake of the week so we can feature it next week or the week after. And let us know what baits are crushing it for you right now and what your conditions are on the lake that you fish. If you want weekly updates and the best fishing weather in the country, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. We'll see you on Friday for the weekend update. We'll see you on Friday for the weekend update, guys. Thanks for watching.